Hi, this is Tyler with overidonTV. We got Eduardo Valencia from Entember Designs in today, and we got him via Skype communication, via webcam. And what we're talking about today is independent artists that are doing their different types of art. They're trying to get the word out, letting the audience know that we are excited. We want to get everybody pumped up. Ed, thanks so much for joining today. We got Entember here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Outside of YouTube and in everyday life, I'm a bit of a shy person. I try to be as polite and kind as possible. I like to game. I spend time with people I like, and I love creating. I am a simple man and I have low aspirations, but I feel if I can achieve these, I would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I just say low because I don't really feel I need a lot to be accomplished. I don't need a big house, a nice car, status, or any of those material things. Right now, I'm currently living with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to be able to help out with rent and be more self-sustaining. As it is, I am struggling a little, so I'm focusing my free time on this pipe dream of having my art get me a little help in this department. If I could help my parents' family financially and get out of debt myself, I would be happy. So that's where I
Wow.
stand with that.
Yeah, so that's pretty huge. So, from listening to that, it sounds like you're doing art, and then you're also trying to become more self-sustaining financially. Get that. I like how you said pipe dream. Because in a lot of ways, it just seems like there's so many different opportunities for artists, but then getting them at that inflow right is can be tricky. And so I think that's huge. I got some more questions here.
Sure.
So one of the things that I've been noticing from Entember Designs is caricature art. And so people that are here on YouTube that are watching the video, they're seeing that we have one of your caricatures here. I have it in the background. And can you tell us a little bit about your caricatures?
Sure. I started doing caricatures back in high school. There was like this group of people that came in and did a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
They were called Commons Art Shops, and they had a location in Great America, in Santa Clara, California. And what they did is they did a live demo of caricatures. They had people come up and draw them like right in front of the entire class, and then they had samples of everything else. They did like airbrush T-shirts, henna tattoos, face paint, um, and front gate photo. So they were hiring for all those positions.
Mm-hmm.
And a little fun thing that they did is they asked us, like based off of their demonstration, to draw each other in caricature. And when I drew like one of my classmates, they're like, "Oh wow, that's pretty good." So I gave it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
One second. So with that, I went in, and during the interview, I actually had to draw a caricature, and that was really tough. Like it didn't come out exactly how I wanted. And when they asked me what I thought of it, I told them, I would fix the face shape doesn't look exactly like the person I just like was drawing, and based off of that answer, they saw potential. And um, even though I had potential, I was like one of the ones that didn't quite pick it up for a couple months, and everyone else had like a lot of background experience with portraits and stuff, and they hit the ground running. But I was the one that initially stuck with it.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like, uh, so I mean, when you're doing your caricatures, what's going into, let's say, this Paramore art caricature,
Right.
right? So what was going through your mind when you're doing that one?
Oh, it's pretty easy. Like it's broken down to a science now.
Mm-hmm.
So first you look at the angles.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone has like unique angles to their face and a unique overall shape, and you just go and exaggerate that and simplify it. Like for example, like off the top of my head, I can tell you that her head is kind of like in an ovalish shape, and it's more angular
Mm-hmm.
or like more pointed,
Right,
and
I'm
like
seeing that on the
yeah,
chin right now. Like
yeah.
the chin, you gotta have that. That looks really cool. Oh man. Okay, yeah. So that's something that was interesting to me because from what I was seeing with your art before, I was seeing a lot of the speed painting and the
Hmm.
speed, like Photoshop kind of art, and then so this was a little different from your smudge speed paints. right?
Yeah.
And then so and it's like, hey, you know what? Entember's got a lot of different things he's offering, and that kind of brings me to my second question, which was about your Fiverr. Now, are you using Fiverr in conjunction with the caricatures, or is it separate, or how does it work?
So Fiverr was something I was trying out, but I wasn't getting much traffic, like no traffic at all, actually.
Mm, okay.
So I decided if I'm gonna be selling, I might as well sell at the price that I really want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Fiverr, I would have been okay with doing like black and white caricatures, like digital caricatures, for $5 each,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't really working out for me. So I'm just doing Etsy.
Okay.
It's yeah. So Etsy is actually the place where I sell, and I have reasonable prices on there. It's like $8 for a black and white caricature. I can even mail it out to the person, but that's gonna be a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a $12 for fee for like color faces,
Okay.
and then it goes up to 15 for a full color face and body. So like you could be like Iron Man or like the
Mm.
Hulk or something.
Okay. Yeah, because that kind of sounds like something that I would see. Like, let's say I'm cruising down Venice Beach, right, in
Yeah,
L.A. area, and then everybody's doing the caricatures or things, the cool art that you'd want to see. But someone doesn't even need to drive down to Venice Beach or take a plane down to L.A. or to Six Flags to do this. You could just do it over the internet, right? They could just
yeah,
send you a photo, right?
yeah. It's tough though, because like you don't get quite the same exposure on the website, because like um when you see these people at the beach or like at a theme park,
Mm-hmm. So he knows he's going to be on the
I'm on camera.
he knows he's going to be on the YouTube now, right? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to overidonTV.
What?
Ed's brother.
Oh yeah, welcome to the show, Chris.
Welcome to the show, Chris. Thanks for joining. Let's get Chris in here. Ask Chris, how does he like having a brother that does art?
Okay, so he wants to ask you a question. He says, "How does it feel having a brother that does art?"
Wouldn't call it art. It's more like garbage.
He says garbage. Okay, so he's cut. Okay, so can you tell him to leave the box of the thing? Can you
Okay,
tell-
Chris, you're gonna have to leave. He says.
Yeah, because if he's saying it's get this garbage out of here, get this dumpster.
All right.
Your brother
Um.
just got dumpstered.
So if you want, I can do the editing for the video.
No, no, this is good. I think this is great.
Okay.
This is clean. Okay, yeah. So here's what I'm thinking is we got I guess the caricatures. This is great. Okay. Now,
So
what was the next one I had here? What are some things you like about doing caricatures?
well, we didn't completely finish the last question. We were kind of in the middle of like the audience.
Oh, right, the audience. Okay.
Yeah, so like, see, the audience of the Venice Beach and the theme parks is actually people that are on dates, you know? So, people who are on dates and they want to impress their girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, by spending money on a caricature that they could take from that date, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, there's also families and their kids that are on vacation and want like some kind of souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different because of that, you know. Like back in when I used to work at the theme park, I would sell like $200, $300 on my own on one day.
That's
I
solid.
mean, I would love to be able to make that kind of money on my own.
Right. Because they would take a cut, right? They would take a pretty massive cut at the park.
Dude, like commission was like 12% or something like that.
Right. So that stings, right? So okay, so that's okay. So like, what do you think of that experience, though? I mean, because at the end
Oh,
of the day, you're making art, and then you're getting paid for your art.
yeah, dude, I loved being able to have a job doing what I love.
Right.
Because, like, after that job, I went through retail after retail job, and I'm just like, I would love to be back in that position again.
Right.
Even though it's just minimum wage, you know?
Right. Okay, this is huge. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Is what are some of the things that you like about caricatures? And let's kind of link it into my next question is on what kind of media, what kind of forms of media do you use and technology that you use to make them?
So what I like about caricatures is to be able to make a quick and expressive portrait in a
Hmm.
matter of minutes in front of someone. You
Right.
know, like they sit down and then you're just like, here, check it out, and then you get to see their expression right then and there. Like when you're doing portraits of like a celebrity, it feels a little empty because
Hmm.
like you make it and then you might get a few comments, maybe a few watches, but then like with a caricature, it's actually personal, and then you can get to see their reaction right then and there.
Hmm.
As far as media is, I use all kinds of media for caricatures. Like I use markers. Like I've been experimenting with all kinds. I use like color pencils, color sticks, which is just basically like lead.
Hmm. That's the Poochie's fine. Yeah, keep this is a pooch friendly show. So
Is this? I wouldn't want to like mess up the audio
yeah, it's.
because of it.
I think it gives us a live flavor. I mean, everybody knows this is our pilot. This is our pilot podcast here for the show. So I mean, thanks for being our kind of the what was this pilot episode here. So this is solid. Yeah. So I mean the now one thing that I really liked when because you kind of gave me some notes about things we were going to talk about when I gave you my initial questions and whatnot. And when I
Yeah.
was reading them over, is this part about the signature banners when I was talking about like your favorite styles of art. And can you tell me like what are your favorite styles of art that you like to do? Because I thought this was really interesting. This part here.
Yeah, because like I was mentioning how I feel I like caricatures because the immediate feedback. You know, a lot of artists they always say like you we make art for ourselves, but honestly, one of the best parts is hearing positive feedback, even
Mm-hmm.
though negative feedback isn't always bad. You know, you can definitely learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that sometimes negative feedback can kind of slow you down.
Right.
But the thing about signatures is that there's like this niche community of people who are like set on giving each other feedback and have like an idea of what it should be. I feel like with like anime or landscapes is kind of so broad
Mm-hmm.
that it's hard to give feedback for that initial style.
Mm-hmm.
So like people kind of refrain from that and just give general feedback. But with signatures, like they'll be like, "Oh, the composition's not that interesting. Oh, the flow could use some work, and you need some depth." And like it's just much more responsive, and also there's like so much more interactivity because there's like battles that they have between members and teams where like one team has like a lineup of five signatures versus another team who has a lineup of five signatures, and then they go through a week of voting. So there's like a lot of community involvement and
Mm-hmm.
also like a slew of styles. Like
Okay,
it's
so let's jump in here. So, can you tell our audience, because not everybody might be familiar with what a forum is online and how important signature banners are in developing your, I'd say like your community standing in a way. Does that seem right? Because if you respond to people in a forum and you have a sig or a signature and it's more than just like your name. It usually has a little bit of art. I think that it's much easier for people to recognize that person, right? And then they
yeah.
can communicate. So can you talk a little bit about forums, why they're important, and then how the signature ties into that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the reason why it's sort of dying in recognition because forums aren't as trafficked right now because of things like Facebook and social media like Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people are going instead. But yeah, that's exactly where it started from. It's just like game boards, and then people were like, "Hey, I want to have my favorite character and my name."
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, people are like, "I'm gonna have my favorite character and I'm gonna do some Photoshop on it." And then it's just like, who can do it better?
Mm-hmm.
So it does have like some kind of reputation behind it because if you have a signature that is yours, then you're like, "This is what I do, and this is how good I am." It's like you're automatically have like who you are as an artist on your sig space.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because one thing I've been noticing with the forums is Reddit's still huge. I mean,
Yeah.
Reddit's not dying. Reddit, I'd say, is the new forum, right?
Yeah,
Reddit
but
is. Go ahead.
oh, is this Reddit is pretty huge right now, but it doesn't have six space. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's just like little icons, right? They have
yeah,
these little minis. Yeah, maybe that's part of the reason why it's so efficient is that they don't have that bandwidth for the extra images. Although you can attach images, but it's more like this is the thing I'm talking about. It's not
yeah, the
like
topic.
okay, yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. But I'd still say Reddit is like a forum. It doesn't have signature space, but if people like Reddit, they would probably be interested in forums too,
Yeah.
because I think one of your speed paintings that kind of got pretty popular about a year or so ago was that was like driven by your forum community, right? Like you said, hey, this is what I'm working on, and then people just all went to it,
Hmm.
right? And I think that's the important thing here is the how do we get people looking at your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because the without people looking at it, how are they going to consume your products?
Yeah, true. And also, I did want to go back a bit because I just realized I didn't completely answer the question.
Okay.
Like, what a signature banner is just um a like a small like a clip art image that fits underneath your signature at a forum, and then whenever you post, it's underneath. Like
Right.
I kind of talked about it, but didn't explain it.
Right.
So.
That's cool. All right, let's keep going. Um, what's some favorite styles of art that you like to enjoy as a consumer?
I really enjoy landscape paintings. I have this guy that I watch on Divine Art. His name is Aeroscape,
Hmm.
and he makes these awesome surreal paintings where like you can't really tell what it is. It's like it's almost like a unique thing
Hmm.
where it's like a cloud that also looks like a wave,
There we
and like,
go.
yeah, it's amazing. So I really enjoy landscape painting, although I don't really do it myself, and I also really enjoy anime art.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about anatomy, and I can't really draw clothes for the life of me.
Well,
Like,
let me pull up some of your. Let me pull up a divine art here. So here is for our audience here who's watching.
mhm.
Um, Now this is an example of a Naruto character, and then you added custom smudging to the original art, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so right here I have the Naruto guy, and he's kind of jumping out, and then so the audience can kind of see here. I'm going to zoom in. This this smudge style is one of the things that you could do for people, right? If they have a image that you wanted them, if they wanted to add a more pop, I'd say it's like it kind of pops, right?
yeah.
So, is this something that you would be able to do for a consumer with Fiverr or through your Etsy?
Um, I'm kind of not sure about that because, like, I wouldn't take a request for free, and also at the same time, I can't really charge for that
Oh,
because
because it's another proprietary thing.
it's another person's image. Yeah, but
Gotcha.
I would consider it if they asked me what character they would want, and then I would try my best to draw that character on my own, and
Right.
then make a signature out of it. That is something I can offer, but it's not going to be cheap for sure.
Right, right. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so that's actually another thing I wanted to talk about here was don't I mean I don't know what your thoughts on this, but it seems like wading through all these things where it's like, okay, this video has this third party contested content. This art thing has this copywritten secondary thing, and it just feels like it's extra weight. This is extra burden. I don't know. Do you ever feel this kind of burden where it's like, you know what? I got an idea. This is going to save some time. I'm going to do something else. You know, it's like I'm going to sleep in. You know, do you ever get that feeling where it is easier just to not produce than go through all these hoops?
I understand what you mean. Like, it's basically you feel that it's not really returning revenues, or I don't know what the exact phrase is, but like I kind of feel that way when I stream, you know. It's like I'm actually there and I'm actually talking to people, and it's not to a huge audience. It's like
Mm-hmm.
maybe one or two viewers, so I don't really feel like doing it all that often.
Mm-hmm.
But then like when it comes to a YouTube video, it's like I can post it as many times as I want, and it's just me doing what I do already normally, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it's not too much of a hassle for me. It's what do I want to invest my time on? What is going to actually bring stuff back to me, you know, or like or what is like I just like making speed arts honestly cuz I enjoy watching speed arts
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to make that more available for people who share that with me and like also so they could learn from it too, you know?
Right. So when you're watching someone doing what they love doing, you get a skill. Either it's
Yeah.
like a subliminal thing where you almost absorb the knowledge by osmosis of just seeing how they do it.
Mhm.
Like I do that with the 3D modeling and stuff. I'll be like, oh, I didn't even think about stretching it that way or slicing and dicing it that way.
Mhm.
And you know, I think it's like really important for artists to kind of share their process on how they get over that hump. How do you get over that that like little creature on the back that says "Don't create today"? Right? How do you
Oh,
get
yeah.
past that guy?
That kind of brings back to something I want to talk about later.
Okay,
But I guess we can talk about
let's
it
jump
now.
in. Let's jump in it.
Basically, when you were asking me about this interview,
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about how um, I am really putting a little piece of myself every time I make these videos,
Mm-hmm.
because it's the tough times, it's the good times, it's experimentation, hours and hours, and all these things that you aren't directly watching, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm not making content every day that I'm when you know it's not actually there. So these are the good times. These are the times that I'm actually grooving, and I'm sharing that with you. So i- in a way, it's also the bad times because like I had to go through that to make that. You know, like I had to still continue doing this, even going through the rough patches and trying to motivate myself so that I can continue practicing and be able to make quality content.
Right. Yeah, and like I mean, so some of it gets left on the cutting room floor, right? Some of it gets left, and we don't see the whole picture. It's almost like I just was watching the film Blade from the '90s,
Mm,
and the ending is completely different than the original ending, and that was like, you know, that time, energy, and people think with like YouTube, Divine Art, you know, Etsy stuff that people just like toss it on there and it's a winner. There's a lot of man hours and you know, woman hours that go into making these things, and they don't actually make it to the cutting room floor. Sometimes they get trashed, or people say, "I'm not going to post it. I'm just going to shelve it," and it's almost like. I think it's important that people kind of support each other and have fun with it, so that way, you know, maybe we could get that stuff content out there. Because what I'm finding is, let me tell you, I'm finding that you never know what people are going to be interested in, and
mhm.
the things I think people are going to be blown away by are usually the ones that are like doing but then
Right.
there's some random one where it's just I think someone on a forum might link to something, and it might be a friend's video or a video that I did or somebody else's thing, and it just blows up, and their view count's huge, and it's like,
Mhm.
well, what hit that chord with the viewers that made them interested, and I think you know, I think a big part of it is not not over filtering something that could potentially get a lot of views or get a lot of attention on that.
Yeah, just like if an idea comes up, try it out and not be demotivated to not make content. Just continue and then see what it works out. But yeah, like to get through a rough patch, like I said, it's like you just gotta keep it in mind, you know, like never throw it away. Because there was like an awesome video game slash narrative like that came out recently. It was called The Beginner's Guide. It was made by the
Mm,
same guy that made the Stanley's Parable,
okay.
and it talked about the machine and um, the creativity that you feel is fueling you that day, and sometimes it's not there. So when I was saying how it's about the bad times and all that, it goes into the video. It's because I try other things when I'm in these rough patches. I try playing video games. I go out on bike rides. I meditate. I think about everything that's positive, and just try things like, to get myself back into that groove, But in my mind, I'm like, I want to get back to that groove instead of saying, okay, I'm just going to focus on something else and then it'll never get back there. So,
Mm,
yeah.
okay. So it's like this is. I mean, don't you see why this is going to have value for people like watching this? Because I have a feeling that maybe there's other artists out there who are trying to get their groove back, right?
hmm
And then I think this is going to be very
Um,
beneficial.
so I guess now I can cover how is technology used in creating my art. Um,
Awesome.
so I'm messing a lot with multimedia recently. So I use a variety of tools like laser printers, scanners, Adobe Creative Suite, and a Wacom tablet, which I have right here.
Oh, let's check it out.
So it's pretty nice. But yeah, so I use that, and I was also introduced to this technique where I use like a light blue pencil, like this one right here. Is this the light blue pencil? And the cool thing about this is I can sketch as hard as I want on a piece of paper with this, and then once I'm ready, like once I get the shapes right and the anatomy all good, I can go in with like a fine point Sharpie or like a ink pen or some kind, and just go and do the details. And then I run it through a laser printer, and when it copies it, all the blue is gone. So
Wow.
yeah.
Now, how does it do that?
Um, I believe it's because some laser printers do not have the photocyan cartridge, so
Mm.
it just doesn't pick it up and doesn't have the cartridge to print it. So it just gets like filtered out in the process, and so that's what I end up scanning and then manipulating in Photoshop later.
Okay, so it sounds like you're getting almost a little mixed media there. You're using more
Yeah.
than one technology, layering it. That's dope. Okay, that's really cool. And then let's keep going. Um, now what are these teams you were talking about when I was talking earlier, like some Revenge of the Noobs? Like what? Tell me about those guys.
So I wanted to give a shout out to them, since being in the team has really helped me with my motivation to produce quality art. Like
Hmm.
I've been wanting to step it up because I know that we're going to be battling against other teams, and not only am I creating for myself, but I'm also creating for a like group of members from my team so that we can win against other teams and kind of gain a reputation for ourselves.
And so what is that like? You guys work together to create a certain amount of stuff, or what is that?
So the way
Teams.
so what happens is a team will challenge another team and they'll have like guidelines. They'll be like, okay, we're gonna have 5 tags versus 5 tags,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a month to produce these 5 tags,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy and it has to be 1.5 per member. So what that means is that um, each member has to make one, but the group is like about 12, 13 people. So it's up to the team to decide which tags they're going to pick out
And
from.
what's a tag?
A tag is a signature,
S- s-
it's a banner.
It's like a banner. So it's like
Yeah.
just so everybody in the audience knows again, so you refresh the memory.
Yeah.
It's like a JPEG, right, or a GIF.
It's we use PNGs because they're higher
PNG.
qualities,
Okay.
but yeah, it's just like a clip art.
Mm-hmm.
Think clip art, just like small art, not exactly a wallpaper, but it could be anywhere from 600 by 600 to like 400 by 250 or something like that. Like something a little smaller than a wallpaper.
Okay. Huge.
So next, so what happens is let's say we have 12 members, and then between all of us, like we have like 20 signatures that we made, and so we'll make like a poll like once the end of the date is around, and we'll see which are the five best, and then we use those five and then battle the other team's five. And so some of those are going to be like collaborations between the members. Like I remember for one battle, it was we had a collaboration between three people on one. So like stuff like that are also part of the battling.
Okay, and then so how is working in a group like going to be more motivating, or like is it like the idea that you're all on a timeline together, or what happens?
So um, the quality of your tag is going to affect the entire lineup. So um, when people see the voting thread, which usually go on for like either 48 hours or up to a week, they're going to see one team's five, and then they're going to see your team's five, and each one of them has to really bring it to beat the other team. So
Oh,
then, yeah,
okay, so that means, I mean, any if someone, it's almost like the weakest link. If that link breaks a chain, someone's going to just vote it down, and then you guys are going to lose the little tag competition.
right, exactly. They might like the other. Let's say it's a 4v4, and then like three of them are really good, but one of them is really bad. And then on the other team, like all four are solid, but not exceptional. Then people might vote for the other team that has four solid tags versus, three really good ones and one really bad one. Like things like that.
Awesome. Well, Entember, I mean, thanks so much for coming on the show today. This has been awesome. I definitely think that, well, we got to check back. We got to do this again. I mean, thanks for being our kind of pilot episode here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think? Did you have a good time doing this?
Oh yeah, definitely. This was something I actually wanted to do on my own.
Oh, really? There you
So
go.
yeah, just like a little introduction about myself and what I do.
Okay, awesome. And then, I'm going to kind of edit this together. We got a lot of content here. This has been a 46-minute call. I'm going to edit it and then get it together here. And I just want to say thanks so much for being on the show. And then, keep doing what you're doing. That is awesome. We got to have you on again.
All right, awesome, man. Take care.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.